What's up, boys and girls? Let's play some chess. So I'm rated 1543 in Rapid. How about that? And we are facing a 1653. That's 110 points difference. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to go with the Freddy Krueger Repertoire. We have the black pieces, e4. We play e5. Okay. That's the dog coming downstairs. Alright, Leonardis variation. I propose we throw in an f5. Question is, do we want to do it straight away, or do we want to throw in like a knight move first? Certainly don't want to do this knight because it gets in the way. Let's go for it. Let's do straight up. Queen h5 check is not a problem because we can meet it with g6. And we're solid. If takes, then I will develop the knight to prevent that. Learning, you see? Learning. This is the reversed King's Gambit, apparently. But it's white to play. Okay. So this is like e4, e5, that. And this is like a centre game. Now if I take, it's got queen takes, but then I hit the queen with development. So pretend this pawn isn't here. When I get this, the centre game, I take and then play queen e7. And I think that is playable. He's taken, all right. Now I can try and hang on to this pawn. I can develop the knight. d5 is probably the more sensible move. I like d5. d5 is defended. It also opens up a line towards the pawn here. If he plays queen takes, I'm not afraid of queen here, queen here. Queen here is a possibility. But knight to c6 covers both of those squares, so we're okay there. Ah. Queen h5 check. Right, so here we go. We can play g6, pawn takes, knight f6, pawn pushes, threatening the rook. We take queen, they get another queen at the cost of a rook. So we can't do that. So I think it's king e7. I think king e7 is the only move here. And if pushes, I've got knight takes, threatening the queen. There's no checks. All of these are no good for white. And now knight to here, both knights out. This is okay. I've lost castling rights. But white is now in wayward queen territory. So my job here, my ideal, would be to harass this queen, kick her all over the park, while I merrily get all my bits out into the board. And then maybe try and castle my king by hand and get a good position that way. 1653. I have... Okay, so this looks really, really tempting now. Prevents the pawn from coming forward. It comes with tempo. What's not to like? You've got to play that. Has to be the right move. The point of this move is just defending this pawn. Yeah, so what's the most I've beaten? Let's have a quick look while we're here. Stats. What's my best win in Rapid? Rapid. Look, I'm nearly in the top 3% of players on chess.com. That's mad. Best win 2057. Check it out. 2057, how about that? Just goes to show, look, anyone can have a bad day. Every dog has his day. And so on and so forth. Alright, Queen h4 I believe is good. I'm tempted to get this knight out. Try and annoy this bishop away. Makes a lot of sense. Means that my knights then control a nice array of squares along these two centre rows, yeah? Ranks they're called. This bishop doesn't want to come out yet. The queen doesn't really have much to do. I think knight here to knight e5. And the bishop can't retreat, can't stay on this diagonal. And he really doesn't want to get it taken, then he'll get an isolated queen pawn. I've got double pawns on the d file, but they're not technically isolated, seeing as there is a c pawn that could defend either of them, but not both of them at the same time. Okay, this is a move. Let's put my knight on a dark square, which means I have incredible coverage of light squares, but no coverage of dark squares with my knights. However, it hurries the bishop away. Now, where's this bishop going to go? Because this move has just blocked out its retreat, so it can't go here. It can only go to this square. Okay. Then I could kickity-doo-dah. This has got to be an improvement. Right, bishop has to come here, I think. c6. Always got to be careful when I say, oh, this is forced on videos, because then they do something different and I go, oh, and I look like a knob. If bishop comes here, I take it. If bishop comes here, I take it. Bishop can't go there and can't go there. If it comes here, I take it. So unless he has a counter attack or something, some way of upping the ante, I might be able to get me a pawn. I wonder what the evaluation is at this point. Well, we weren't expecting that, were we, boys and girls? No, my love, we weren't. Right, with the knight move, what does the knight undefend? Undefends that pawn. There you go. And that's why 1650. Okay. So, I can take the bishop. Probably queen recaptures. I can develop queen. I want to get rid of this bishop. This bishop's blocked in a lot. Take bishop. Queen takes. If I take and pawn takes, A, he's got an IQP, and B, I can capture this pawn for free with development. So he's going to take with the queen. So knight he takes, queen she takes. I feel like something like king f7. But I still don't know whether it's the right thing to take the... Queen's actually attacking this knight now. Queen could even go here for... Oh no, that comes with check. So I think I'm going to do it. It's right. We know there's no pawns on the e file at all. There's no white pawns on the d file at all. So it's already looking like an open style of board. Queen's going to recapture. Now my thought is... Queen d6 looks like a move. King f7, getting out of the way of this guy, looks like a move. I'm going to want to get my rook onto the e file at some point. Get a rook onto the e file. So I'm thinking I can't see a problem with this one. I've got both coloured bishops now. Maybe I'll get my bishop outside and then push c6 and build myself a little feature. That was just silly. Okay, castles. I'm inclined to put my bishop straight on this diagonal now. Just... Zara, stop it. It's annoying. Zara. I'm going to do this. I'm not bothered about this. If he wants to take my knight, I'll recapture with the queen. And then I've got both bishops. He's only got one bishop as it stands. I would like to maintain my bishop pair. Even queen d7. Rook e8 is a thought. This pawn is pinned. It's simple goldfish stuff, that. No? Okay. I see, I can attack the bishop. But if I move the knight, what is this knight doing? Well, if I'd have done this, you know, what's defending what? That defends, defends, defends. You know, it's not difficult. Right? These are all the defences, pretty much. Queen defends that. Right, I would have seen this pawn is defended only once by this knight. Therefore, if I move that knight, this pawn will then be undefended. Is it under attack? Yes, it is. Okay, he's developed his knight. Oh, no, he hasn't. That was a long time ago. Okay, he's thinking. I think rook e8, maybe king g8 at the appropriate point. Knight there looks like an outpost. I mean, this pawn's pinned, so it can't progress. But that's a bit kind of one-dimensional at this point in time. Okay, out comes the knight. It's got two attackers, two defenders on here. c6 looks very sensible. Rook e8 as well. c6 I like. Also prevents the knight's advance here. What are his intentions? Where's his dark squared bishop going to go? There? I can always drop back down to here. I'm going to play c6. Definitely rook e8 soon. We haven't had black against a lower rated player yet, when my idea is to play the check pits. Peerky blinders, I call it. Queen's the only defender of this, which is under attack. I could lift my queen to d7. Alright, so he's now put a third attacker on there. It's not relevant though, because the first recapture it as a pawn, so he would be instantly down material. Okay, what's your plan? I'm going to play rook e8 now. Don't see he's hampered this bishop somewhat. I don't know what your intention is there, son. I'm not going to waste a move shuffling my king away unless I need to. Unless there is an imminent threat. Right now there ain't. This bishop is undefended. Can drop back down to b6. But also might come to d6 and change diagonals. We could switch up, you see. In fact, d6 isn't a silly idea. We do put pressure on this knight. I could, for example, play queen c7. Instead of queen d7. Queen d7 means I've got two attackers on this pawn. And the only way he can defend it another time is with g4, and I don't think he's going to do that. So I kind of like this move. Defends his pawn. So he's played this, which means he doesn't like the idea of this. So this is not... I mean, this bishop is a poor piece now. So I'm going to go for this move and try and get my pawn back. Then manually complete development. And we aren't doing too bad. Doubling up against the knight is another idea, but he can always, like, swing his knight around to defend. I don't think he's going to want to move his g-pawn. I really don't. Not when there's two bishops facing him. And they're on the correct side of the board because they're looking down that way. The light square bishop still has to develop, but its dream is to capture this pawn. I have a dream. So 1653. It's weird, you know, I've been watching like Grandmaster speedruns, been watching Leonardis' kind of rapid speed run all the way up to like 2200, at which point it's still really informative. And then Simon Williams put out a Blitz speed run as well. Weird how these guys slow down time when they do that stuff, you know. Okay, takes. Then if rook takes, I have to recapture with king. Or the knight, but I take pawn. Rook takes rook, let's say king takes. King goes back here. I don't see a problem with it. Or I take, he recaptures, then I take pawn. I might even stick my bishop there and just plug everything up. Okay, let's do this. Just feels more predictable, right? I take pawn, yeah. Now if the rook comes down, it just loses the rook. He's not thinking about rook here, is he? No, well, you can't. You can't. That's okay. All right, this is all right. Queen takes, bishop takes. I'm now attacking a pawn. I have the bishop pair on an open board. I have a very respectable pawn structure. I've got 4 and a 2, whereas chappy Serg Bilov has 2 3s all at home. But it means I have greater control over center of board. And my bishops are very nice. But he's got nice, his donkey's nice. It's nice donkeys. This donkey's defended only by that bish. We might consider a move like this. Knight here, it is attacked 3 times. And it's only defended twice, so let's not consider that. Well, it was fun. It was fun considering that. And now we've finished. The more moves you can consider and discard, the better off you are. But we say this thing about poker, that the biggest, well, one of the biggest skills in poker is to know when you've got nothing. And you want to lose low and win high in poker. So when you've got a shit hand in poker, you want to fold as quickly as you can, right? And that also makes your opponents think that when you've got a strong hand, you really do have a strong hand. But yeah, I mean, betting on a bad hand and then losing your bet is bad news. Okay, all right, so he's done this. Now. See, I could trade queens. If he was guaranteed to recapture the c-pawn, I think that would be quite nice. But he has knight takes. However, then all his bits are all the way back there, look. Right now, he can't move this knight because I have queen to there. So what if we harass the knight? I think he'd be forced to trade queens then. Also, this pawn would be undefended. I think knight would take. Then I'm pretty sure bishop back to b6. Not swapping my bishop for his knight. And then we're going into an ending with equal material, but I have the bishop pair against a slightly stronger opponent. I think if this, he's going to trade off. Then I'm attacking a pawn. And still attacking his knight. So then he moves his knight back here. Then I can take the knight with my bishop and his pawn is forced to move. But then I lose my bishop. So what's his plan with this? Come round there and tickle my queen, eh? So his knight's now paired. If I take... I think that's okay. I mean, you know, I've got a fighting chance there. And I don't think this one works. I think he'll trade his way out. What else has he got? If g5... Oh, he's got knight h3. Defends this pawn. I can then eliminate the knight, but then that's... No, I can't. Knight h3. Right, I think I cannot see a better option right now other than this. Now, so I'm going to drop my bishop back down to b6. I think it's better on this diagonal where it continues to pin this pawn than it is on this diagonal attacking that one. The key thing now is that I have this light squared bishop and my opponent has no light squared bishop. Which means I have long range attacks against every square on the board, potentially. Right, he's come in with check. There are no other major threats. The knight can't really do anything horrible. I can't go there, can't go there. At times like this, you generally want to kind of centralize your king. Don't really want to put my king here. He's got a dark squared bishop. I feel like I might need to think about pushing all my pawns up to create a dark squared pawn chain to interfere with his bishop while leaving my light squared bishop much stronger. So that's a kind of strategic positional idea. Is this just silly? I mean, I'm lining myself up for discovered checks. And I'm lining myself up for an immediate check. Oh, that would be a double check. So I think I need to shuffle away. I'm going to shuffle away into the corner. Against my better judgment, but... Right, I have to develop this bishop and I have to get this rook onto the e-file. If we trade it off, we trade it off. That removes one of his only 2 long-range pieces. I have 3 long-range pieces, which could be handy in an endgame situation. This could attack 2 pawns, but square is currently defended by knight. This is not possible, right? He's got his knights relatively central and on opposite colours, which means he controls all of these squares, right? That knight controls those ones. This knight controls, let's do those, orange, these ones. Okay, so that's quite a lot of squares. If this knight was more central, it'd be even better. All right, what is the meaning of this? Here I attack bishop and add a second attacker to pawn there, right? How does he solve both issues? Place bishop here. I then have the option of taking off pawn, and we have an isolated pawn again. I have option of bishop to here, attacking this knight. Where can he go? No, 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 no. So he's only got here and here. Okay. Which I think is okay. And it gets out of the way of these pawns, so I can start to build my nice pawn wall that I've always wanted to build. But I'm drawn to this move. Bishop here. Takes and takes. He has an isolated pawn. I really, really, really want to get my the bishop out into the game, but maybe moving this pawn first. So, how good is this? Maybe the reason he moved this is so that he can play this and I don't have that? No, not really. Oh, I don't know. Okay. This bishop here trades, and it's not even an isolated, it's not a passed pawn, the pawn that he gets on the e-file, because I still have d-pawn. Leaves us actually also with, well, I've got the only bishop, which is not the end of the world, but it's definitely not as good. Okay, let's do this move then. I'm just not convinced with that bishop trade, even though it gives me that isolated pawn. Especially now my rook isn't active. If I could get if my rook had the e file, and I knew I could keep his king out, that'd be another matter. Okay, in comes knight. It can't go there or there, so I'm inclined now to push and start building my wall. He'll come in here. He comes in here. I trade there. Also, this is a move. This is a move now because it actually blocks the rook's defense of that knight. If I go here, I'm attacking the bishop that he's got to do something about. So if I do that, he's going to have to put his bishop here. So let's do this idea with that idea to follow. And then he can't put his bishop there. So I don't see an immediate threat. I think he's just kind of creeping up. Also, he's lost some control over the dark squares by putting his knights on dark squares. What does that mean? Not a fat lot. If I do this now... Oh, hello. This and then that is my idea. And I think we have time to play it. Hits bishop, which is undefended, has to be noted. And bishop cannot come here to defend the knight. So what's he going to do? Hit the bishop. And the knight. Well, it's like the knight was under attack anyway, but it was defended. So that's the key thing. So I've just undefended his knight and attacked his bishop. And now we see the purpose of h6 and g5. Can we win material against the 1650? Yeah, so, by the way, yeah, so what I was saying is, like watching like Simon Williams' Ginger GM speedrun, when he absolutely annihilates 1500, 1600, 1700, it makes them look stupid. He said, he sits there going, look, I'm not even doing anything clever. I'm just like playing by instinct, and they just fall apart. Which is really, really interesting. So, but what it shows is that even hello, missed that one. Okay, so bishop here, bishop here. No, if I push pawn, he can't save the bishop. My knight's defended. Shall I take out his bishop and go into a bishops versus knights ending? Or, what if I hit the knight? If I hit the knight, he can't go there or there. He can only retreat to there and then I win the bishop. Surely. Surely. If he goes there, pawn takes. If he goes there, bishop takes. He can't go there, he can't go there, he can't go there because of his own stuff, or there because of his own stuff. The knight is lost unless it retreats, and then I win the bishop. In fact, if the knight goes there, I can even swap it with check, simplify, and then win the bishop. Boom shakalaka. With an extra coat of lacquer. That'd be boom shakalaka lacquer. You have to believe that your opponents are human and fallible. This is the point, dude. You've got to believe it. You have to have faith. Okay, well that's a desperado. Okay, he's grabbed a pawn on his way out because he knew he was about to lose material. Okay, and now time is of the essence because we are a bit strapped. If I move my knight here, am I worried about this? Not really. I can come here and attack the bishop. Look at my long-range pieces. They're about to dive into action. This blooming bishop has annoyed me the entire game with its lack of development, its laziness. It's just lazy. But can he attack it again? Knight here, he attacks it twice. Okay, knight here. I have to put my bishop maybe here to stop him coming there and attacking my bishop. Okay. I have a free pawn. Am I worried about this? No, it's not that. It's this, isn't it? There, I could even just take him out. I can't do that to rescue my rook. This is the problem. Both of these pieces are like pinned right now. I'm just going to grab the pawn. I'm +3 right now. I've literally got an extra minor piece. I've got an extra bishop. I have a light square bishop. He doesn't. Everything else is equal. His king can't move onto a light square because I have check. Well, unless he goes there. Threatening just to take another pawn and just go around generally sweeping up. Can I come across and harass this rook? Rook can't go there, has to be noted. Should probably be my idea, I think. But we are coming down to it, although we have an increment, which is good, 10-second increment. So, tits. Just didn't notice that at all. Okay, we're coming here. At least the rook gets into play. Okay. Now I can take the pawn. If I move my bishop now, he can grab that pawn. We don't want that. I think it's now time for A5, A4. All the way. He wants to come here or here to add another attacker to the bishop. In which case my bishop will just have to flee. Could also push b6, this idea. Okay. If he pushes here, I can't go here, here, or here. Or here. But I do have bishop takes, which is fine, so I'm going to go with the pawn. He pushes that pawn, bishop takes. Hands down. I mean, I'm just going to, whatever happens now, okay, do I do this? Or even this? He wants to come in with check, does he? But then I do that anyway. Okay, or is he thinking this? I don't know. Right, Andy, you're up. Go on, Andy. Off you go, son. That's a check. Okay, we knew this. Now, he almost had a checkmate there, didn't he? Considering I can't go here, 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 or here. No, because I just take the pawn. Right. We have a foot race. His bishop cannot stop the pawn. In fact, what can stop the pawn? Okay, I can't move my king to any of these squares, or there, or there. I have one escape square. And if he plays rook here, I have an escape square. This is one of those cases where double pawns can be really powerful, though, against the king. He's got a strong structure, but I'm 2 moves away. Okay, we knew this. Is that mate? No. Blocks the bishop. Slightly grateful for this bishop being there now. here, I come here. Knowing when it's time to throw a pawn up the board is absolutely critical. The games that I've lost and the games that I've won, just by somebody knowing, you know, that the timing of that, cannot stress it enough. What's he got? He's got check here. Then I can come here. I mean, that's probably, you know, a plan anyway, is to, okay, this is fine. Don't think anything else is, I could go there. Then we're repeating. No, 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 no. I've got two options. If I go here, I think I escape. I think I do. He can't like bring the bishop round to check me at all. He's blocked off his own dark squares. And he's gonna... Okay, that's a check. And now this. And he still can't bring his bishop into play, which is very lucky for me. And I must have made the fatal mistake of looking down to see when it says win plus 10. Don't ever do that. Every time I do that, I screw up. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. It's time enough for counting when the dealing's done. Ah, and now we come to the point. Okay, I can block, so the bishop's trying to stop the pawn there, yeah? But it means I get a bishop. Now, if I do this, he can check me, but I can then move up. Then I can walk into a knight check, but I think we're alright, I can also block with my knight, actually. Block with my knight and attack his bishop. And then it's off you go, Andy. You little beauty, Andy. You're a bloody beauty. Of course, I have to remember I'm playing a stronger opponent and he has an increment. So I cannot give him a sliver here. I've not moved this rook or this bishop in the entire game, have I? Having said that, Zara, no one wants to listen to you doing that. Go on then, put it there, that's right. She's cleaning my breakfast plate for me. I think Serg is in some trouble. But I have a terrible, terrible habit, as I think many of us do, of relaxing. How about this and then finish my nice pawn chain that I've always wanted? When I say finish, Andy's bolted. Andy is striking up for glory. And something just happened. He's moved. Houston, we have movement. Okay. Right. One thought is this. Another thought is even this. Hang on, he's put two attackers on there. So I'm going to play this move, I think. So his idea is bishop takes with check. So I'm going to prevent that. No, I'm not. Attacking the bishop doesn't prevent that at all. How about this move then? Just defend the pawn. And the promotion square. Anybody takes that, I'm going to execute the whole mother lot of you. Any of you fucking pricks move and I'll That's a nail biter. 43, 42, 41, 40. Now I might even decide to play with my bishop at some point. No, it's not a euphemism. Okay, he attacks knight. I have this, attacking rook. Or do we just push home with Andy? Push home with Andy, you take the knight, but it does come with check. I don't really like that idea. I've got this. This looks this looks alright. It takes away his rook check, yeah? Okay. Might even send Barry up. You never know. 25 seconds now. Sergey is not looking good for you, my friend. Okay, he's been forced to blockity-doodah, but I have a fork with bishop and with my bishop on his knight and rook. You resign now. I think now I can. Well, we're not going to relax until we've shaken hands. It's a virtual handshake. The knight can't move with check. Right, I'm having that knight. Yes. And I'm having that. That's mine also. He's going to fight till the bitter end, isn't he? You really are going to do that. Okay. Right, in that case I'm having... Now he wants to take with the bishop. Okay. In that case, you're welcome. This is desperate stuff now from Serg. I'm attacking this. I'm still threatening this. My first instinct is that, but I think maybe we go on to light square. Just to discourage any shenanigans. Push. Yes. Really practicing those sanity checks. Okay, we have queen. King has to go here. King can't go there or there. Check. And that, I believe, is mate. Boom! Shaka, lacquer, and lacquer. And let's add another layer of lacquer just to be good. Get in. 1553. Boom. I enjoyed it. I haven't got the emotional energy. I'm not going to review it now, guys, but that was a good one. That was a good one. There you go. The Leonardis. So what did we do? We pushed an instant F5 against the Leonardis. The reversed King's Gambit. Wow, wow, wow. I'm just going to have a quick look. Let's look at the Explorer. Have I ever done that before? My games as black. X to flip the board. Doof doof. The Leonardis variation, and I have played F5 10 times, and I've won 7 of them. All right. The reverse King's Gambit. I don't know. I feel like it needs another name. I'm going to have a think. Suggestions in the comments if you like. I've got a couple of ideas for little gambits, little gambit names floating around the head, but yeah, feel free to post in the comments. Other than that, thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.